All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. It's Wednesday, doing my contribution streams. I'm working on Drupal-rector today as part of the Drupal 10 readiness, and I'm going to be tackling this change record where file create URL and file URL transform relative are deprecated. These are two functions that help generate URLs to images or other files, and always confuse the heck out of me, even in Drupal 7, because I forgot when you needed to use one and not the other. And it looks like possibly moving to this file URL generator service, Drupal 10 is going to be a lot simpler. I was going to work on this last week, but some of these changes, especially file transform URL to file create URL is generate string, this looks to be a bit tedious. So I'm going to work on that today and hopefully it can land. I need to go and update my code. And last week I found out my chat box is broken, and I'm hoping I was able to get that fixed so that way it shows up. What's this called? So let's go from the upstream because I did have some fixes merged in. We have one that did not yet land, and that's due to the fact rector head is failing, and I don't know why actually this is failing in PHP unit. Oh, because we're not pulling dev. So Symfony changed something, a return type, or I don't know how it managed to just break in this short while of a week. But it did. All right, so I already did get pull. So basically, anything I put up is going to have a failing test on rector source for some reason. So let's go ahead and copy this issue branch to get new branch, file funcs. It's not what I wanted. Well, let's do file. Actually, let's just pick the service name. There we go. Rename the branch to file URL generator, issue, and get cracking at it. So I think the first step will be to write the test because that's severely going to be needed. We have these examples and they get transformed this way. So create URL is turned to generate absolute. Transform relative is transform relative, but when you have file create URL inside file URL transform relative, it's generate string or just generate. Not complicated at all. So let's go ahead and start the test. So rector, let's do new directory. And I'm not going to run composer update on my machine because I know last week when I was working with this, it was passing. So I don't want to, that way at least I can run the test locally. So we'll call this the file URL generator rector. Do not want to minimize. And we need a test. So file rector generator, file URL rector generator rector test.php. Yes, we want to add that. Just copy the config folder. We'll delete that usage because we don't have the rule yet. And then fixture. Let's go ahead and work on that here. So directory, we'll call fixture. So let's do a fixture called file create URL.php.inc. And let's clean this up. One thing I'm going to do. All right, so we need this file create URL from a URI. And let's have URI equals public food.png because that's what it would look like. This would be transformed to file URL generator absolute string. So let's again create one for transform relative. Add. And this becomes the transform relative. All right. Now we need a combined. Let's call it combined test case, which is this one here. So transform relative from the URL, which gives us generate string from URI. And then, let's just call this one new. Let's copy paste this to, we'll just say URL, because it works with the URL object. URL object. I need to fix this. One of these I copied from has an error. Oh, shoot. Let's see. All right, fix that. Hold on. Generate string. And then URL, we got this from URI with file create URL becomes just generate. All right, sorry, I'm a bit slow moving. I realized today. So maybe some energy drink will help out there. I'm not feeling coffee. All right, so we have the test cases here. Let's actually make sure the test can run. So for that, let's do a good old copy paste. Test fixture configured rule. So now if I were to run this, it's going to run all 4 test cases and they're all going to fail. Because of course they will. We don't have any rules in place. Now the good question is, what do we do? Which ones should we tackle first is the good question. Because we have these interesting cases where we don't want to transform file create URL directly if it's inside of a function call. So maybe that's the first one to do. So let's create a rule for file create URL that transforms it to generate absolute string unless it's passed inside of an argument, which I don't know if we can figure that out. We'll see. I want to try to make it as clean as possible. There's a chance that we just can't, but let's see how far we can get. So deprecation, this is a test, source. I feel like we should come up with a better namespace than just deprecation, because there's nothing else we're really fixing. So I'm going to try to break the pattern here. We're going to call it file URL generator. So this way it's easier to see what's going on there. Oh, okay, yay, my chat is working. Woohoo. Add it as an optional Boolean to check for if they pass it. To check for for deciding how to handle it. Yeah, that's my goal, I hope. Or do you mean like in the rule configuration? Because unfortunately the rule configuration is a bit hard-coded. We'll see. So let's do file create URL rector PHP. Just do a good copy here. File URL generator. Why is this angry? So let's see. So we got final class, file create URL rector. Extends. We do have a base class that we could use that does function to service. So it allows replacing a function call to Drupal service file name. Like in this case, we don't want to just do that because it's a little more in depth than that. I believe one of these pull requests did that. Let's commit. Oh yeah, we did it for render because render, it's really easy. But in one of these, for file copy, oh, we did do the same. So this worked. Huh. One of the Drupal get path file name, was this it? One of these, it did not work to use the existing base. And I don't recall. Oh, okay. So it kind of did the same thing here, but it had to do some more checks. That was the problem. Howdy, howdy. It's going slow. I am sluggish and my brain is goop. So abstract rector extends abstract rector. I'm not going to try to optimize this for anything yet because there's no point. I've only done it once. I believe in refactoring after you do about at least 2 times, you're going on your 3rd. Rule definition. I got to get the code sample in. Why is this broken? Oh. Letting copy the entire thing. Fixes deprecated. File create URL. Calls. File create URL. And it turns into this. All right. Node types. Function calls. So let's go function to base. Return node func call. Sweet. All right, so refactor time. So let's do, so it returns back a node. Let's do return null. So we'll start there and go down to the test and configure rule. Services set. File create URL rector class and import. One thing that I always forget to do is get the test fixtures, the like fixtures set up beforehand. So we could do it in module. Why not? Function rector, or no, hold on. Does this always causes conflicts? What did they do in D8? In D8, they created files. So let's do that. I wasn't thinking before. So let's do file URL generator.php. Hello, hello. Nice to have a crowd joining in. So function, what do we do? Let's see. That's not it. That's Drupal set. Let's do file create URL. Sure, we'll paste this and then bring me to the file. Come on. So wait, not here yet, man. So examples, then to the updated, copy paste, add it. This now needs to have the result because this is in the updated, which is our like fixture that we run for the functional tests. There's so much boilerplate in this. So change record services set file create URL-rector class. All right, so that's all set up. We've got the test. Oh, is the test configured? Yep. All right, so run the test again. And now I can do the refactor. I don't want to run all the tests though. No. 0. Yep. All right. So this is the one that we want to debug. So let's drop a breakpoint and get to it. All right. So the one thing we want to do is, I guess, just do the verbatim service replacement. So let's just start there. Fixtures, config, and function is static. Actually, let's do Drupal get file name, get path, extension base path. We can copy out of here. So let's assert this, and if we need to make sure the function name matches, which the function name is file create URL name parts. Yep, file create URL. All right. So we have this part. The args, we don't care about the arguments. We just want to do a full replacement. So that is, that's why too for the other one is we had to do argument replacements as well. So service name is file generator. Method name is generate absolute string. So now actually I'm going to stop the debugger. So return new, and the args would be node get args. So we pass the arguments right along. And if I run the test, we should get a pass. Now for the simple example, come on. All right, great. We've got a pass for the simple example, but if we were to go do the entire test, everything will fail. Not everything. Sorry. So here, we don't want this to happen. And this just doesn't have. Oh, wait a second. Oh, yeah. So then there's this basic one here. So now what we need to do is go in. And how did we get the parent before? 1 second. There's a way in the this is the closest statement. Parent node. This is deprecated, I thought. Let's see. Abstract rector, node type resolver, node name, better standard printer, static type, node factory, better node finder. Let's see here. So let's do this, better node finder, find parent, find first previous, find parent type. Find first previous of node. I don't want a callable. This find first, if node, this get current statement. I guess maybe this is just the way to do it. So let's see what happens. So stop equals nulls, my go-to filler. Actually, what's really cool is with Xdebug, with Xdebug 3, like if you put a breakpoint on line 41, apparently it will resolve to the next one, or that's a PHP storm thing. But you can't put breakpoints on empty lines, so my go-to is stop equals null. That's a way to do that. So let's see. Let's do this data set 1. We're going to debug it. And I want to see what the parent call is. In this case, I should have probably done parent. So, all right. So here we can do. So if parent instance of node arg So if the parent is instance of node arg, return null. We're going to return null for now. The biggest question is like, where should this live? I don't actually know. Yeah, I know where this should live. So we now have it where return null. So if we run all of the failed tests, we should see that the output doesn't have this mangled. Right? So 2, or rather 1, we preserved it. So let's go ahead and make a rule for file URL transform relative, which we can address to fix number 2. So we're going to fix test case number 2. So file URL transform relative rector.php. I'm going to copy this class verbatim, as it's pretty much the same, but we're going to end up doing a little bit more work inside of it. So again, let's just update the text or the generics. All right, so transform relative is the function name. All right, now let's go add it to all the things. So in the config, this would be file URL transform relative rector. Right, this should be what we just opened. Great. Let's go down to our tests. File transform relative. Simplify class name. And okay, so that's there. Now our fixtures. I usually forget to do the fixtures until the end. I'm trying to just stay on top of it this time. Sure, we'll just prefix it that way. Let's see. Get both of these opened. So let's go to so this is the example, file create URL example. This should be transformative example. This is the test case. This is updated. It doesn't get confusing at all. All right. File URL. Wait, hold on. Damn it. It's too much stuff in folders. It's URI. All right. So that should be the result that we expect. If I would have just copied from here, it would have been fine. Just all right. That's all configured. Let's run the tests. So now data number 2 should be fixed. This needs to get deleted. well, let's just see. Okay, so data number 2 fixed. Data number 1, we still have the file create URL instead of being generate string, and then the URL is just broken. We can delete this parent, but what we should do is let's get the args equals node get args. We'll replace this and if count args equal to 1. It should only be 1, but we're just going to be special with the type checking. Let's see. What's the argument? File create transform URL relative. Don't remember. I wish we linked to more things in these change records, like a quick link to GitLab or the API site so you can read what the path parameters are that you're fixing. 250. Just give me the text. I guess we can just say file URL arg, or file URL arg equals args 0. Never mind that. All right, so we've got the file URL arg and value. Let's do stop equals null. And debug set number 1. So let's do file URL type equals this node type resolver get type from file URL arg. Let's try this value. So this then, what this does is it taps into the type system of PHP stand, which makes it a bit easier to work with. Oh, or not, of error type. That's not what I expected. So let's see. Why did it get error type? So node is func call, ternary coalescence, type is null. Scope, it got the scope. Like what? Why? Oh shoot, because it can't autoload the name of the, it can't autoload it. That's why. All right, so we're not going to do this. So we'll do if file URL arg is instance of func call. Type equals, that's not going to work. So this get name file URL arg name. So let's bring the stop up a step and debug this again. All right, so type, great. So we have the type, so we can do if, so if this get name is equal to file create URL, args equals file URL arg get args. Stop it. Merge it upstream. We don't need the wrapping parenthesis. We can do this. And let's debug it again. Maybe this, oh, Man, yes, last week I thought this was gonna be so hard. But this is turning out to be pretty easy so far. Args is array, value, variable, console output. Ah, here we go. This is what we need to do. So we'll say method name. Wait, why is this all? So method name then becomes let's put this in here. Generate string, right? Yeah, generate string. So let's rerun the test. Very bold of me to claim it's very easy before I'm done. Yes, that is pretty bold, but I mean, let's go run the test like in full. I mean, I'm 34 minutes in, and already the one that I thought would be the worst is covered. Like I thought this case would be the worst one to handle. All that's left now is handling it when it's called from URI. All right. I guess that could be the. This is going to be the trickier one, maybe. Because we need to reformat calls to from URI, but only when the argument is that function. But again, we've just done it right here. So let's go ahead, turn off the debug, and create a new rule. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, the one rule handles both these cases. So let's just do I don't know what I'd call this. Generate returns a URL object, I guess from URI rector. URL. Sure. File from URI rector. Because it's namespace, right? It's namespace, so it works out. PHP. Which makes me think one thing we could do here is there we go. That way it looks. I like this a bit, having them namespaced. It's a little bit easier to read. It's going to be closer to file URL transform relative, so let's just paste it here. And from URI rector, go to the config, paste that in. Yeah, I like this approach. And honestly, I think it'd be great if we just redid it all. Redid all the namespaces, but that's also just a lot of busy work that I'm not sure if it's worth the value. So let's go ahead and follow the same process here. Let's do from URI rector. There's a URL. So let's go to our example. This is, what did I name it? From URI example. Then to the updated. Copy this. All right. So I've got all the bases up. Now let's go improve this. So code definition, actually this, fixes deprecated calls from yeah, I guess that works. From core URL from URI. Sure. This is the before. And this is the after. Node type, this would be method call. From URI, so it's not from URI. There's no different method names. It's just generates from the file generator service. No get args. Yes, I know this is duplicated, but tough beans. All right. Oh, wait. Get declaring source trait, scope, class reflection, get declaring traits. Ah, there we go. Right, I think we need to do this. So name, this get declaring source. Shoot. All right, we got to do some stubs, I think. Drupal tests. So yeah, we have to have these stubs, otherwise auto loading breaks. And I think that's what we're gonna have to do here as well for the URL. So Drupal core. Let's do new file, url.php. Split the pane so I can copy this correctly. So namespace, Drupal core. And I hate that we have to do this, but there is no other way. Drupal core URL. And honestly, I don't remember why we don't have Drupal as a dev dependency, because that would fix it. If we added Drupal core as a dev dependency, we wouldn't have this problem. So I'm not entirely sure. Why we went this far. So class URL, and to preface, I'm the one who set up these stubs, so I can't even answer my own question. Function. Class URL. So return self. All right, it's just a stub, so we should be able to use then. So this from URI. Let's do use get declaring source traits. Source equals this, get declaring source from the node. And let's do a stop, which actually, I wonder if type equals this, node type resolver, get type. I wonder if the PHP stand type system would actually fix this. So let's do a debug run. We got one failure. Debug it. Didn't catch. Test rector. File URL generator. Configured rule. From URI. Method call. Get node types. Okay. It's not a method call, it's a static call. That's why. All right, here we go. Type is mixed type, but the source is an exception. Class reflection is null. All right, that didn't work. URL from URI. Class is there. All right, so let's see if we can. Oh, composer dump autoload. So for those who did not catch the streams in the summer, it's a class map. We created a class map of the stubs, so that's why it didn't recognize it, because after you create a new stub, you need to dump the autoloader. Why didn't we add Drupal core's required dev? Because that would solve all of these problems. And to sidetrack, github.com, rector PHP. I want to look at the other rector packages. So Symfony, PHP unit, Laravel, sure. Stubs. Okay, so it does have stubs. Is that where I borrowed the idea from? Yes, it is. Composer JSON required dev has no Symfony in the required dev. All right. Stubs, and again, PHP unit. Well, PHP unit is required, but has nothing to do with it. So Laravel, again, stubs. Laravel is not required at all. And stubs are only added when absolutely needed. Okay, so I am following patterns for rector the best there are. Type, fully qualified object type, and then source, an exception. So let's skip that trait, and let's skip doing that. Get type. So let's do the debug again and rely on PHP stands type system, which was added over in the fall, I think, or at least I didn't know about it when I worked on this earlier. It's recent, I know that much. So type, fully qualified object type. Really, it came back. Why would this be the type? What? Why did it return the static call? Why did the static call get returned as a fully qualified? Let's see. Let's just go to the next one. So, say if type instance of fully qualified object type, that's so now rector has its own type system above PHP stands. because that's where this is coming from. Static type mapper, get short name. No, let's try this. Test equals type, get short name. Get short name, get use node, get function use node. But this extends the object type. Why doesn't it? So in PHP stand, it gives you the class name with the method name usually. So that's why I'm a bit confused. So I'm going to step through this in rector. It's not nullable type, ternary, coalescent, resolve type by node type resolvers. We're still in rector. Is a node class. So let's just put our cursor here and then click the run to cursor. So node class, static call, node type resolver. We're in rector source. All right. So method name from URI. Scope gets the PHP stand scope. Node return type is object type. Wait. That's not at all what I want. But the scope, node return type. Caller type. This. Whatever. That's how it works. It's just not what I expect. So I say if it's not, return null. If type get short name. Let's just do get class name. Definitely not working how I thought it would, but it's there, so that's all that matters. So if type is not equal to that, or type get class name is not equal to triple core URL, I think we got it. Play and pass. So now if I go run the entire test, it should pass, but then I still need to push it and make sure the functional tests are passing. So let's go up, up, and away to the source, and I'm missing one example. The combined. So let's change this to combined and example. Combined example. And commit this. So get status, get add test, get add stubs, get add source. Add fixtures and config. Commit AV. File URL generator rectors for. I'll just say file URL generator service rector rules fixes usages of that git push u origin 32616 times 242. So GitHub PR create. Oh, you can choose a template now. That's new. Let's move this to line 4. Delete boilerplate description. The link is change record. Submit. All right. Let's copy this pull request. Last PR for this issue resolves. Copy that, paste that, save it. And there we go. All right, let's see. PHP unit still failing because this issue got fixed 3 days ago for Rector. That's what I don't get is Rector itself had a fix, but it's not tagged. That's why. But like, what did something with Symfony got updated in a minor release, which seems wild that a minor release changed a return type. I don't know. But it broke and oh, shoot. This failed. Uh-oh. Wait a second. That is bad. That's real bad. That's bad. So this is why we have all the functional tests, because I totally screwed this up. So let's go update our tests. So URL. So that should not be changed. And let's even simplify. Yeah. So now if I go and run our test, we should have a failure. Because it didn't, I forgot to check the arguments. Here, yep, that's bad. So let's fix that. So configured rule, file URI rector. So what we need to do is kind of reverse this. So we have the start of, if it's not the argument, so from URI. So what we should do is if we need to do nothing. So it's more of like we got to do a lot of negative testing. So if count args is not equal to 1, return null, which lets us bump out of here. If this is not an instance of, or it is not equal to that, return null. All right, that should fix it. We just had to restructure it. So if I run it again, now it should pass. I'm curious to go back, github.com, github.com, rector, source, pull request, close, fix. So what is it? Bin up. Symfony Rector has the same issue. PR to Symfony Rector. Back to Rector, dev main without commit hash. So I don't know if this was caused by seems due to latest Symfony dependency injection. Oh. Wait a second. Object. So before it was a void, but then it's mixed. Yeah, I don't know. But we fixed this and get status. If git add test, git add source, git amend. So I don't want a second commit for that. So git push F. Do force push. All right. I need to figure out what I'm going to do if this is fixed. I guess there's probably more Rector things to fix. I know in PHP Stand Drupal, I just recently got a handful of things that need to be fixed or discovered, but I'm not going to work on that now. Let's see. I'm going to say closed duplicate of just closing for that issue. So one nice thing is the Drupal core maintainers are going to start opening issues against drupal-rector for all deprecations. So that way we can track the change records more appropriately. Previously, it's been just like get the scans running and see what happens. But now we're going to try to be a bit more proactive. All right, let's see here. So the functional tests are passing now. That's good. Add PHP 8 rector rules. We checked here. Rule for rule for session metadata bag clear CSFR token feed. That's new. This passed. All right, so this is ready. Save the fact that rector source is broken. What's this? What is I know I need to make a feedback note that we need the change records to link to the source code of before and after the change. And I don't know the best way to do that right now. Let's see. Right here. Notes. Since I don't comment is more of a note, since I don't have anywhere to put it in my live stream because I'm not going to open any of my notes while sharing my desktop, just in case. I don't need to be disclosing anything. It'd be great if CRs would link to GitLab with the before and after of the CR changes. Screenshots all the passwords. Yes. Instance. That would make it easier to find a metabag and compare the two methods. Let's see. But I guess this is a pretty simple one, all in all, because it's just, but why? Please read. Form has become outdated. No. All right. Use the default session ID. And maybe this doesn't even matter. Let's see. Session metadata bag, stamp new. All right, set CSRF seed token. All right, I guess this is easy enough to do. So let's go get check out. Main, that's the word I'm looking for. I don't even want to do this though, because I don't want to go through all the boilerplate again. Like that's one thing, is I can only handle doing Rector dev about once a week because there's so much tedious boilerplate for each test. And I say this, but I constantly refuse sitting and trying to streamline it, which unfortunately it's the same stuff inside of Rector. So if we went to Symfony, it's got the same kind of boilerplate. Rector, class method, fixture config, the test, everything's got the same thing, the same fixtures, and the same config. I just don't have the time to invest in streamlining it because I feel like it could be streamlined. Why? Rector test interface. Boot from config. Yeah, it would just be nice if this could be, like, instead of being passed a file, it could be passed in an actual, like, closure, and that closure could do all the magic. But it is what it is. So let's go ahead and make an issue. And once I'm done with this, I'm going to sign off. So got this issue here. Let's create the test. What is this? These names. What would be a good name for this? Get all options? No. I guess clear. I don't know. It was clear CSRF token feed to stamp new. PHP. So what is it? Namespace. drupal-rector. Deprecation. final class clear extends. Is there a rename? Is there a base for renaming a method? Method to method base. Replaces deprecated method calls with a new method. Please confirm that blah. Oh, this could be. What? Oh, I see. We could fix this. Actually, no, let's do that. Yeah, let's fix this. There. If this get name is equal to, oh, this. Wait a second. Class name. Where's this class name even used? Oh, let's fix this. All right, great. We're gonna fix this. No name. So let's do caller type equals this. Node type resolver. Get type. Caller type. Oop. Node. Expected type equals new. Object type. This class name. Oh, but then we got to add more mocks. But I guess that's a good thing. All right. Yep. Let's do this. Did I make a unit test for entity interface URL blah 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 rector? No. Okay. So we're going to test it live in here. So this extends method to method base. Now that makes sense. Method to method base. Get rule definition. That's, dang it. All right. Scoot this over. So provide the properties. So deprecated method name, clear. The new method name is stamp new, and the class name is. That's not the fully qualified class name. Come on. Where is it? Metadata bag. All right, so it must be Drupal core session. Drupal core session. Metadata bag. All right. Which means that now we need to go to get core session. And then we have to create a stub. Let's create the rule definition here. All right, so the before would be metadata bag. And the after is stamp new. And this example is actually really, really rough. So metadata bag, there's the class. So where is this? How do we... Ah, here we go. So to metadata bag. then settings would actually be this class. All right, so there's the rule. And we need to debug the rector for the caller type and expected types. So a few things first. Drupal session metadata bag.php. Namespace Drupal core session. If class exists. I don't even know if we need to do the if class exists because this is set for required dev, but it's just to be safe. Metadata bag. Shoot. It extends something. But I think we can be okay without having it be a full stub as long as we can have class. Shoot. We'll need this as well. So let's make a new site settings.php. Why is this broken? Oh, that's why. So there's settings, and we have this function. No, that's not it. Wait, so we have set. Wait, what? Hold on. So we have set and clear and stamp new. Okay, whatever. Stamp new. Clear. Core. No, we have site. We need to mock the settings.php. So settings, core, site. Settings. So it's a final class with a construct that takes an array of settings. All right. So now if I look at the metadata bag, this is okay. Let's get rid of that. All right. So I believe now we have the mocks. So we have the mocks. We have the new rule. That was in 9.2. Set, or, oh yeah. What is it? How does it go? Services. Services equals container configurator. Services. Set. Clear. Token feed. Class. Change record. All right, now we got to create the test. We go directory. Directory config. Actually, I'm just going to let's do the copy and paste game. So clear CSF token feed, simplify. Why is this complaining out to me? And this is the same as it could be used with a class import. No, thank you. So config, let's just copy this test to be clear CSRF token feed rector test. Fix the namespace, clear. I feel like rector, I think I looked, they have a command for generating tests, but for some reason it didn't work for me, or it did something really goofy, and that's why. So I probably could make this easier on myself, but I haven't. Just copy this basic. So directory, fixture. Let's go to the rule. Copy the sample data. Actually, metadata bag. So, okay, so we have this. Now, let's run the test. Now, the test should just pass, but then I want to improve the base. Let's see. Nope. Did not even run. So let's see here. I've got the debugger. That run. Let's debug it. Right, configured rule, clear CSRF feed, feed test. So this, let's get to the deprecated method name, stamp new, class name. If this node, what's the node? Node method call name, clear. Why isn't this mapping? Deprecated method name, clear CSRF token feed. This one equals this, get name, node name. Test2 equals this deprecate method name. Why didn't that work? If you have a minute at the end of the stream, I have a question about some direction on how to deal with a warning I'm looking at. PHP standard Drupal stuff. Yes, I will make time for that. Let's figure out what's going on here. And then we can look feed. Oh, dang it. It's because I don't know how to seed and feed. Hold on. Oh boy. Clear CSRF token seed, not feed. Goodness. Okay. Test results. That's cache. seed seed seed. All right, refresh. Goodness, that's silly. Warning, cannot declare class because it's already in use. I hope that's a little. All right, now let's run the test. Oh, shoot. Yeah. All right, run it. Where am I? Please confirm. Okay, let's get rid of this. Please confirm. Because we don't need to do that anymore. Let's do a debug. Because we're going to make it smarter. So test 1, test 2. Yep, that's fixed. Okay, caller type is mixed. Expected type is. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, so node, method call, name. Wait. Ah. There we go. Let's rerun this. So caller type and expected type. So the caller type, non-existing object type of Drupal core session metadata bag. And expected type is the same thing. Drupal core session metadata bag. So let me hit stop and dump the autoloader. Let's do a debug again. Here we go, caller type. So let's see if test equals expected type is super of caller type. So we want to see if the expected type and this is a super of, which means is it a implementation of it, which I think if they're the same, we get back yes. I actually don't know what happens at the same. So test, the trinary logic is 1, which is true. So let's do this. So if let's rework this logic a bit. Is super of. So if is super of yes. Else if is super of maybe. So let's do this. So if yes, no name goes there. And turn. So we'll do that. We can do the. We'll return the node. If it's a maybe, oh, because it could be a method call. All right. So it's a method call because it could be chained. Yeah. All right. So what we'll do is we'll just copy then all of this previous logic. Oh shoot, wait a second. First, assert node instance of node expression method call. Let's just drop this. And if the node name is not equal to this, we return null off the bat. Great. Let's just change this to an else. No, we'll do else if. And let's just put the old logic in here. Node var. I hope that doesn't get too angry at us. Rector add comment. Let's fix this length. So if it's a yes, we do it with auto comment. If it's a maybe, we leave a comment. And if it's no, we return null. I think that's fine. Split the workflows because we do a return. So let's run the test, and it should pass now. I hope. Yes. All right. Now the cool part will be in. Let's see, what was this other, what other thing implemented this? This to URL or URL info. So if we look at the fixtures, oh, this didn't even have the comments in it. Oh, let's just see what happens. So hold on real quick. Configured the rule. I've got the stubs. I don't have the fixtures in place. That's what's needed. Just go to the tests, rector, fixture, and metadata, bag. Oh my, that is way too difficult to type, apparently. So we have that and the examples, and then let's go to the updated, copy, paste, and place it there. Now that should be everything. Let's see. Let's look at our diff. We got the config. We've got the fixtures. We've got the rule, which we improved. We've got the stubs, and we got the test. All right. Config. Screw it. Git add blah. All right. What questions do you have for PHP Stand Drupal? And I can try to pull it up while I commit this. Git push u origin 32643, which I want to say thank you for pushing a few pull requests. I very much appreciate that. GitHub PR create, edit the body, addresses. You know what? Let's copy that. Drupal.org issue. Submit. Probably a bunch of access to undefined property, link item title. Oh, that's all right. That's an interesting one. Wait, why did it? Oh, who hockey? Boop. Let's link this here to needs review. PR with rector rule. Yeah, link item is very weird. Let's see, PHP unit. Oh yeah, it's crashing because of the good old that, but let's see what the functional test says. Yeah, so link item is a fun one. Like actually the link items test crashes PHP stand. So the bug is that access to undefined property link item title. So PHP stands giving that error. Do you have a link to where it's happening on Drupal.org or in a PR? Because I know this right here causes this link item test actually causes PHP stand to crash. How old is this? 21 days ago. What was the error? Yeah, cannot assign an empty string to string offset. Yeah, we actually Drupal's magicalness actually crashed PHP stand. Oh, when the thing was trying to get to level 2. Okay, so what it sounds like is shoot. So it was saying field link item, field type link item title, which we should have magic properties for field item list. So thanks Drupal. It depends on how you accessed it, and oh, you know what? We can't work around it. So if we look at type reflection, let's go to field item list property reflection. Fallback, null type. It might be get writable type. Entity field methods, entity fields via magic. It's okay. So button title. It's because what needs to happen in Drupal core. This property entity magic fields methods. No, this is methods. Reference entity fields somewhere in here. So the problem is in Drupal, we need to start having all of the fields do annotations on their properties, and then it would be fixed. Yep. And I do my best to solve some of the magical properties here. I could, PHP stand Drupal could say like, oh, we know it's a field link item, so it can handle this property. Right now, we just handle the defaults of entity value and target ID because they are the most common, and we allow them to exist improperly. So what needs to happen is wait, is link even a core field, or is that field type? Wait, link is from a contrib? No, or from a module in core? Am I losing? Oh, all right. I didn't realize this. I forgot rather. So what we need to do in core as part of PHP stand -1 maybe, or even -2. So right now PHP stand is running at level 0 for Drupal core. And I'm even excited about this fact. Not the NFT ads, but the where'd it go? So for Drupal core, one second, let's get PHP stand deprecations. So right now, Drupal 10 is running at PHP stand 0. And this got postponed. There's actually a proposal to use the PHP stand deprecation rules instead of our custom approach that we've taken. It's not bad, but it's something that would make things easier. So like if we were to go look at this merge request, once we start moving there, we can actually start doing more of this annotation. but I don't know what the requirement is to get to PHP stand level 1. That's going to be a huge task. But the first thing we can do, and maybe we could do this. Core is weird because something like this for Drupal core, if we wanted to annotate like properties, somebody's going to say it needs to be everything at once, and that's like impossible. But also I understand the maintainers not wanting to commit 5,000 patches that just add properties to all the field types. Maybe this is a good DrupalCon effort. So DrupalCon is what, in 2 months? Reminder, book your hotels and do it through the DrupalCon partners, because that's how they get some revenue share also, or at least get rebooked in the same city. But DrupalCon would be a good chance to have a bunch of contributors in the same place and core committers to just bang this one out. Is there a, let's see, instead of going through Drupal.org, so let's see, let's go to Drupal core. Well, that's one. We need to allow empty. That's one. Oh, that's why it's postponed. Yeah, for tests. That's right. The PHP stand Drupal deprecations is postponed due to tests, because with PHP stand, you can call deprecated code in a deprecated method, but Symfony's PHP unit listener uses @legacy, and Andre from PHP stand said no, we're not going to support @legacy. That's a Symfony thing. So that's why it's postponed. It's postponed on coding standards. The good question now is there an effort to do @properties? So to provide methods, protected properties. I don't even know. Wait, it's not @properties, it's @property. Oh boy. Entity type property, define original as a property in the entity object. Thanks for tuning in. One thing that we need to push on though is getting the this actually says it is public, is getting fields to have @property for their schema properties. I think is a good initiative, and I can't find it anywhere in here. So I'm going to hopefully remember to do that, to look it up. I'm going to put it in my Todoist real quick. If I don't do it there, I'll never do it. Find out about @property for field, not filed, field items for analysis. The one good part is now more people are using PHP stand for static analysis, not just deprecation checks, which is great. And Drupal core is using it, which means that Drupal core will be dogfooding its own analysis, and meaning that we can do improvements like this and have a reason for it. So that'll be exciting. Oh, why'd this fail? Okay, it inlined my usages. It's updated. Let's just update this so it doesn't complain. But the cool part is that it did work. So git diff, git commit. Git add fixtures, git amend. Let's just do a force push. All right. Yeah, Note that in your rule exclusion about unknown properties, Drupal core has it. It's just impossible. It's impossible because Drupal has too much magic, but it could be fixed if we would actually use @property annotations in our classes, which is completely fine because we have magical getters and setters. But for some reason, those aren't being picked up. Or maybe that's what I broke. I don't remember. They're just the field, like analyzing fields in Drupal is too hard because of the amount of magic we have. Let's see. All right, let's refresh this. This is set to needs review. Parallel processing on 02. I tried following instructions given, but it didn't seem to be working. All right, I'm going to comment on this. So let's go through. I believe so. Rector allows for doing parallel processing, and it errors out. But the thing is, it doesn't error in PHP Stand Drupal, which PHP Stand has parallel processing as well. So let's PHP Stand has parallel processing as well, and it does not error. Now, this could be due to the fact Rector has its own way of doing parallelizing. There we go. My guess is due to the fact we autoload off of paths and things get weird, such as caching an APCU or others. PHP with PHP Stand Drupal, it mimics Drupal core's autoloading. In fact, I have a project that tries to abstract it out. If I can find it. Static. I was working on abstracting out that static autoloader to this project. That way, drupal-rector could leverage it as well, and others. This is only a guess, no idea. But given the fact autoloading, adding the items to autoload dev makes me believe it's a bug in parallel processing and autoloading via paths. Save it. All right, so that passed 2, except for PHP unit. That's fine. Yeah, so all the static autoloading that I did in PHP Stand, I wanted to do in a standalone project that's on drupal.org, which is cool because it's actually on Packagist and uses GitLab CI pipelines, but I just kind of gave up on it because I didn't have time. It was just like a pet project, which is hard to push forward. Add explicit access check to entity queries. Link, get generated link, replaced to to-link. Is this, what? Is this a change record? Yep. Wait, rector. To-link, to-string. Oh. Is the bug here that we're missing true into link or into string. I don't know what the creates this connection for static methods. Oh wait, this got fixed, didn't it? Verbose. This was missed. Oh man. Rector deprecations verbose. So it was. Oh well. Cool. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll be back next week, probably working on PHP Stay and Drupal because I've broke the head of the projects, which means I can't take a release with some good fixes. I might try to fix the broken head over the weekend before the stream. So cool. Thanks for hanging out and have a good one.